on your behalf. Today we have quite a number of issues to deal with. One has to do with the UniBank saga. So Metro TV has been doing some digging, following and some research, following the statement which was issued by the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, that's the Honorable Dominic Akuritinga Ayeni. And in that statement, the Attorney General talks about the fact that he's declared a nolle prosequi, or he's filed a nolle prosequi in the UniBank versus the state matter. Now, we will be showing you this morning, and we'll be telling you some very, very fascinating, very interesting findings, and shocking ones indeed, as far as this UniBank matter is concerned. And then you get to understand that actually the whole story has not been told. The entire picture has not been painted. And it's been beginning to look like the UniBank was actually shortchanged based on the documents that we have here. We'll be telling you a bit more about that on the show. And also, here on Inside Pages, we'll also be looking at the Bawku crisis. Now, the Bawku crisis has now assumed an alarming proportion. It's now assumed a geographical spread. It's now become a case of a trans-border, crisis, even though it's within the jurisdiction of Ghana. In fact, as we speak, there's a 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. curfew which has been imposed on Bawku. Government has had to now move from peacekeeping to peace enforcement. Now, but the question is, to what end? What else do we need to do to nip this in the bud? I know the O24 Certitude Committee is looking into how to mend the crisis, to fix and to address the conflict which appears to be escalating. We've heard about what's happening in the Ashanti region where a Kusasi chief has been killed. And we've also heard about 2 students who's been caught in the crossfire, 2 of them, Nalerugu. So we want to ask, how do we prevent what appears to be this spillover effect of what's happening in Bawku? Because it's now come out of Bawku and it's happening in some other jurisdictions in this country. And then, finally, the Ghana Journalists Association. Yes, they're not happy with the government of the day because they feel the government of the day is not doing a lot in protecting journalists. We've seen what happened during the raising down of a property that belongs to a private businessman, Magdan, and a journalist who went there, who works with multimedia, and what is happening to that journalist. So it was on the back of this that the Ghana Journalists Association held a news conference and said, please protect us, government of the day. My name is Awudu Moro. Stay with us. This is Inside Pages.
Wabedum time aso. Hey, Jay. Watch it, na learning. Missy, watch and learn. Mekwaya mabesisia. Abozing. Akache say no ya konate and the more drink woman. Hey. But I didn't mean. Oh, sorry. She knew her old days. Hey, Jay. Dabio, baby wom. Ready? Hey, baby wom. Ajay, I'll cause some discomfort. Sorry, well, uncle, where would the dad? Why your funeral? At to phone for Aerofield Trading. Sorry, it killed them all.
No mum share nanda danya was mosquito call esudu womunumu. Na say spray with them musa. Try sima edronum ansana ko dynamo.
And Kratoi FDA Ajatum.
Buy affordable service plots and lands from estate masters. Currently selling our Nest Cottage, located at the newly proposed Airport City, with a starting price of 25,000 Ghana cedis. We also have Palm Hills, located at Panfukuro in the Gomwa East District, also with a starting price of 15,000 Ghana cedis. Available also is Coastal Park in Lakpleku, which is a 15-minute drive from the Ningo Senior High School, having a starting price of 55,000 Ghana cedis. You will receive a free site plan with indenture once you successfully purchase a land from us. For any enquiries, contact the numbers provided. Estate Masters, your most preferred estate partner.
DSTV means amazing acting.
Face friending while streaming.
Front row at the gaming and superfanning while on the going. Winning! Binging and blockbustering. While others are white ricing, you're jolloffing.
This looks so good.
With something for everyone, anything is possible when you're DSTVing. Start today with all sorts of packages to match your...
We brought you the first two conferences, which were awesome. Great leadership ideas shared. On popular request, the third in the series of Women in Strategic Leadership Conference, put together by ASWAM and Tarragon, comes off on September 24 to 27 at the Plash Camp Chache Resort, Adan. Come, engage with astute women with great leadership ideas and skills on the conference theme, Women at the Helm, Driving Strategic Change. On the bill for this special conference are outstanding women such as Genevieve Pearl Duncan Ubobi, banker, trainer, SME consultant, speaker and author. Miss AC Mills Robertson, Director of Inclusive Banking at Fidelity Bank Ghana, and Mrs. Augustina Atkinson Dadebo, Counseling Psychologist and Assistant Registrar, UPSA. Do call 059-205-2286 or 024-403-5731. Come and let's advance women in leadership while creating a supportive community as well as empower women in leadership.
The charges in the criminal case against the accused persons involved a total amount, and this is very important, a total amount of 1.2 billion Ghana cedis, not 5.7, as is being bandied about from certain quarters whose names I would not want to mention. Whilst the civil case involved a total exposure of 5.7 billion Ghana cedis. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the media, if you conduct your research in the High Court, you realize that the receiver subsequently amended the writ of summons and the statement of claim and revised the civil liability down to 2.8 billion Ghana cedis. Okay? So that is on record. That's a public record, and whoever wants to contest this is at liberty to go to the High Court and then, do so. It is important to state for the avoidance of doubt that the total exposure in the criminal case is part of the total civil case exposure. In other words, the 1.2 billion is not in addition to or on top of the 5.7 billion, which was revised down to 2.8 billion. Now, the 5.7 billion was made up of the following. That is from the initial stage of the case. 2 billion being loans and advances which UniBank made to related and connected parties. 3.7 billion being payments made on behalf of or on the instructions of the accused persons. Included in A and B above, however, was an amount of 2.1 billion which was alleged to be fictitious loans, to have comprised fictitious loans and fictitious transactions booked by UniBank prior to replacement in official administration. During the reconciliation exercise, the accused persons objected to the inclusion of the 2.1 billion on the grounds that the amount did not involve any direct cash outflows which could be recovered. The accused persons also objected to the inclusion of placements of 0.3 billion, that is 300 million, made to Unisecurities.
Ghanaians, including us, the minority in Parliament, have since been wondering the legal basis for the entry of a nolle prosequi in the suit under reference by the learned Attorney General, and therefore we deem it appropriate to raise questions produced below for the Attorney General to answer for the benefit of the good people of Ghana. Number one, Has Dr. Dominic Akuritenga Ayine in the past acted for Dr. Kwabena Duffuor and UniBank? In the case of the Republic versus Kwabena Duffuor and 7 others, is Dr. Ayine now the Attorney General of the Republic of Ghana? The deputy referred to him as the Attorney General, and today he has granted a press conference acknowledging that he gave out the press release and he tries to justify why he entered the nolle prosequi. Ghanaians would want the Attorney General to explain to us in full the extent of conflict of interest using Dominic Ayine as defense counsel and Dominic Ayine as the Attorney General. This he failed.
And to help us look into this matter, to weigh in this matter, and to also help us do the analysis of this UniBank versus the state case, which has been discontinued by the Attorney General, that's Ghana's Attorney General, that's Dominic Yeni, is a private legal practitioner, Martin Bebu, who is he's been following this matter for a very long time, and he has been speaking to this issue because of his, it's just passion for Ghana. Now, Martin Bebu, thank you very much for joining us on the show. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Moro. Morning.
Right.
Hi.
Right. It's always a pleasure to have you join us on the Inside Pages on Metro Television, sir.
My pleasure.
Thank you. Now, I recall that when the Attorney General issued a statement announcing to the world, to Ghana and the world, that the state had no interest anymore, hence the filing of a nolle prosequi in the case of UniBank and the state versus the state, you came out and said we should hold our horses because you believe that there's more to the story than we know. And that you will need some further and better particulars from the Attorney General. The Attorney General then hosts a news conference and tells us more, gives us some more details as to why that decision by the state. What, first of all, would you be your preliminary comment about the decision and the reasons given by that decision before we even look into some specifics in terms of some documents that, as a responsible media houses, we have been able to track? We've done some digging, we've done some research, and we have a few questions that we want to run by you, and I'm sure we're very, very confident that you would have the capacity to help us appreciate that. So, first of all, what's your preliminary comment about what the Attorney General has said regarding the reasons why that nolle prosequi was filed?
Due to my initial hunch, okay, that was a good decision. The reasons he's brought are reasonable. They are very cogent and reasonable because, look, Moro, bottom line is that we can't continue to lose money to, crimes like that, and also, or even not crime, let's say, situations like this, okay, where state funds are taken,
left side,
and then we don't get them back, and also situations in which they are not state funds, but basically we are all not happy that money has gone somewhere. So the basic thing is that
Hello? Yes, I guess that we have a bit of a challenge with the Zoom connection. Just hang on a minute, we intend to fix this problem ASAP, and then we will come back to you on this, because we also have Kennel on the other line. He has actually joined us to talk about a entirely different issue, and so we'll try and fix this technical challenge, and then we'll come back to you, Martin. We sincerely apologize for that. So, Martin, I'm told that we're good. We're good to go now.
Bawku children's clothing.
Well, hello? Hello, Martin, can you hear me? Hello, Martin, can you hear me?
Jail.
All right,
rather than
please
getting
go
back
ahead.
the assets. So for me, the main reason, okay, Even though we'll soon show that even Godfrey Dami himself said the UniBank revocation, the revocation of the UniBank license, etc., are illegal. Okay, we'll come back, and the documents are here. Godfrey Dami himself said it. His opinion dated 20th January 2019. He said the revocation of the UniBank license is illegal, etc. We have other documents. But that apart, what the point I'm making is that our society is too fixated on put people in jail, so much to the detriment of often getting assets back. You remember the Atu forcing case? That was the same way Godfrey Dami was fixated on getting Atu forcing and Japa in jail. Of course, that one, when you play the tape, you hear Godfrey Dami confessing that it was Akufo-Addo, the president of Ghana, and Ofori-Atta, the finance minister, who were pushing him to get a conviction at all costs, right? So we know that a lot of these things, they are politically motivated, right? But the key thing is that we must also give much emphasis to recovery of assets. So that's how come any day I'll defend this decision by Dr. Ayine to take assets. It doesn't matter that people are saying that it means Ghana today, when there's a crime, you can go and settle with them that, okay, I'll pay you back 60% and I'll take 40. Nobody has said so. It depends on the facts of each case. It depends on the facts of each case. So we need to be patient with ourselves. We are developing a democracy. Ghana is not coming to an end. And I have said that, look, even Ofori-Atta that we are looking for, right, wherever he is, if they were to go into the case and they find out that we can't recover everything from him, but we can get 60%, even 50%, even if we were to get 50, less than the 60, I will support Dr. Ayine to say that, look, let's collect. Or if it's OSP, the OSP cases. You know, when it comes to Ofori-Atta, there are some of the cases, is the Attorney General who is pursuing him. And for others, is the OSP, Kisi Jabin. So I'm saying that even if it was Ofori-Atta and all the evidence is brought, we are shown evidence that we can recover 50%, 50 of the money instead of 100. I would say, let's go for the money instead of throwing the person in jail. Because this money is something we can use for a lot of things. I'm not encouraging situations where we say people will not go to jail. But these ones are things that, you know, if you look at the amount of money involved, if we were to continue saying that, no, let's concentrate on the jail, we'll lose too much just because we want to put one person in jail. No, when you see that what you are losing is far bigger than putting the person in jail, yes, I know we need to send a signal to people. We need to send a message to citizens that crime doesn't pay. I understand all of that. But you look at this one that we are talking about, the do force. We are getting back 2 billion cedis. So 2 billion cedis compared to putting in the accused persons in the Dufour case. Let me see. I'm using it. Yes, they are not more than 10 people. All right. So if you were to put all these people in, and then don't even forget, we are not yet there in terms of, it's not as if we've convicted them and then we are saying, oh, don't go to jail, bring us money. No, we are still fighting with them in court. And remember, Godfrey Dami's own opinion that the revocation of the license and everything Addison and Co did is illegal is here. How are you going to win such a case? When the Deputy Attorney General at the time, and later he became Attorney General, has written a memo advising the Ken Ofori-Atta, the minister. Let's brandish it. Look at it. It's addressed to Ken Ofori-Atta and signed by Godfrey Dami. His signature is here. Such a thing. How are you going to win such a case? How are you going to win such a case? It's a gamble. That means that we just want to gamble. That's how we gambled in the Atu forcing case and didn't get 1 CD. You remember that the Dubai company, what they call what, Deep Sea or something Sea, they offered to pay 2.3 million euros, and they were even ready to give more money so that they will take back the ambulances, etc. But Godfrey Dami said in the tape that's a tape which was admitted in court by Justice Efia Sewa Saribochi. And he admitted that it's a political witch hunt. And we are saying we are not interested in a political witch hunt. Let's recover the money. And the facts Ayene has brought out vindicate my position. And you see, with what is brought out, we would also further see that from time to time he will come and update us how, apart from the DUFOS, he's also recovering money from the rest of the other beneficiaries, because in his press conference he says he's pursuing the other beneficiaries. So these are the comments. Let's support him. Let's do a lot of the recoveries, okay, of the assets. Operation Recover All Loot. We shouldn't just be interested in throwing people in jail. Those are my comments.
Now, Martin, I've been perusing the documents that we've been able to track through our digging, and there's actually on page 7, which is the Attorney General's.
Hello.
Hello, can you hear me? Hello, Martin.
Hello.
Hello, Martin, can you hear me? Hello, Martin. Hello, Martin. Martin Pebu, can you hear me? Okay, so I've been talking to a private legal practitioner, Martin Pebu, on the back of the statement which was issued by the Attorney General, and then of course the subsequent presser which was held by the Attorney General, explaining why the state has decided to file a nolle prosequi, or to enter nolle prosequi in the case of the UniBank versus the state matter. And beyond that, I said, as a responsible media organization, we decided to do some more digging, and we decided to do some tracking. We decided to do some more research on this UniBank versus the state case, which has generated a fair bit of some kind of controversy or debate and some kind of a storm, because the opinions were sharply divided. There were some who felt that the reasons which had been given by the Attorney General leading up to the filing of the nolle prosequi was not tenable. And there were also those like Martin Kwebu who felt and believed that there's everything good and everything great about that decision. And so we are trying to look into some specifics in terms of documents that we have been able to chance upon. We've taken the pains to acquire this document, and we want to look into it and ask what we believe are the critical questions. So, Martin Kwebu, welcome back. Okay. Unfortunately, we've lost Martin Kwebu, but I wanted to find out from Martin Kwebu the opinion which was expressed by the then Attorney General, that's Godfred Edame, where Godfred Edame was against the decision by the states to revoke the license of UniBank at the time. What I find a little fascinating, though, is that this document, or this opinion which was expressed by the then Attorney General, was not really made a subject of public commentary on this matter, because we also have a situation where the minority, which is the MPP minority in Parliament, are rather raising questions or issues or reservations about why the state went ahead to revoke the license, to file a nolle prosequi, or to enter a nolle prosequi, when indeed their own Attorney General at the time that the MPP was in power actually expressed the same opinion, which is actually in league with what the current Attorney General also thinks, which he's been consistent about. He has said it time and again that the state had no business, absolutely no business, revoking the license of UniBank. And so we're trying to raise Mr. Martin Kwebu back on. We need to conclude this conversation before we go to Bawku and look at the situation there. It's become a little volatile. We want to try and find out what else we need to do to end the Bawku crisis. Is Martin Kwebu back on? Okay, Martin Kwebu is not back on. We'll try and get him back on, and then would continue with the conversation. So perhaps what we need to do is we'll take a little break, a breather, and then when we're back, if we're not able to get Martin Kwebu, we'll move on to our second topic, which has to do with the Bawku crisis. Please stay with us. This is Inside Pages on Metro Television.
Abusiafo ye mama kwaba eba Children's Palace. Nkwala nyema nyina fie enyi. Yonkwala ntade mani mema nyina ntare nyina wase. Yonkwala shoes, yonkwala duane, yonkwala wipes, yonkwala diapers, yonkwala toys, baby coat. In fact, bibia opama omanyina obenye biwa ase.
Located at East Legon Hills, Nana Chrome KFC. Contact us on 059 6377 172. Children's Palace. Happy children, happy fashion. See you soon. Bye bye.
I'm here at Mycom JA Limited to show you the Promethean Active Panel, the ultimate tool for corporate institutions, hospitals, schools, and your home. With its crystal clear 4K display and an unbreakable screen with an ultra responsive touch technology. This isn't just a screen, it's a game changer. For corporate institutions and in schools, this active panel can be used for Zoom meetings and PowerPoint presentation. And oh, your homes are not left behind. You can use it to watch all your favorite programs by just connecting to a Fire Stick, and you can get access to channels like Netflix and Amazon, and voila, you are in there. At Mycom JA Limited, we provide you with the best quality products from the United States of America with 1-year warranty. You can get an active panel at a discounted price of 18,000 Ghana Cedi only, and it comes with a Fire Stick, a webcam, and a micro system. You can locate us at Chado Container behind the Trade Fair. Visit Mycom JA Limited today and elevate your tech.
No matter how far you run away, you always come back to where you started.
Tortured, mutilated, fingers cut off.
I'll lend you the money. My boss believes in giving players another chance.
You don't know what to do if you don't have the money to pay back. Come and listen to me.
Sir, it's done. Good. 1 week. That is all you got to pay up.
You've been gambling. I can't.
Unfortunately, we're still chasing shadows. He's clearing the board to make way for something bigger.
How could you do this to us, God? Who's there?
I can fix this.
Wezalo Amarab. Yes.
Ghana Tourism Authority welcomes you to the 2025 African Marketing and Technology Conference.
From digital storytelling to destination marketing, welcome to Ghana, the gateway to Africa.
Come here and build high-valued network. And of course, you build this network with great industry leaders.
We can't wait to host you. From our immersive cultural experiences to the plethora of our sun, our beaches, our gastronomy. Woo!
We are asking all of you to come network at this beautiful event. Events that will actually teach you the real value of marketing to tourism.
Yes, the Aquaba Night. Come and experience our rich heritage. Come and dance to the beat and rhythm of our music and culture. This is Ghana Tourism Authority.
Editions, Ghana first participated in the one in Portugal, then later in Tenerife and in Spain. Winners of this very competition being stayed at the Chimota. We're going to Sun City in South Africa. There you see the gentleman who plays at the background. King Golf Club, a ball about to tap, chip his ball, onto the hole over there. But this is hole 2, so somewhere around hole 2 over there. 92 golfers are participating in this very competition over there. And remember that this event is brought to you by kind courtesy, or the organizers are the Legend Sports Management, with sponsorship coming from PwC, among others. There you see the golfers over there, 13 off from hole 1, walking in their beautiful apparel, hoping to catch the eyes of the sponsors over there. Well, certainly that would be very, very good for golf. This live feed coming from Achimota Golf Club in the nation's capital is brought to you by N2K Sports. They are proving the point that yes, golf coverage in Ghana can be very, very possible. You are seeing some of the golfers trying to stroke their shots. This is a beautiful scene you're seeing from Achimota Golf Club here in the nation's capital, where 92 golfers are participating in the national playoffs finals of the International Pairs Golf Championship. At stake is Sun City, South Africa. Those are the winners. Proud to this very competition being hosted currently. Some qualifiers were staged at Celebrity Golf Club in Sakumono. Another one was also played at Center of the World Golf Club. Okay, we are back at hole 1, where I'm seeing Masu Adakwa. He and his partner will tee pretty soon. Remember that Masu Adakwa is the captain of Takwa Golf Club, and he also works with PwC. So certainly the sponsor and his partner, they are about to tee off. We are seeing the quartet coming from all the way from Kumasi, also close to hole 2 over there. This is a beautiful scene coming from Achimota Golf Club here in the nation's capital. It's brought to you by Legend Sports Management in partnership with a series of a lot of sponsors over there. Okay, but this gentleman or this golfer is all the way from Kumasi. He's trying to get to hole 2 and trying to, first of all, identify where he's going to play his shot. But you're seeing these beautiful shots coming from Achimota Golf Club here in Accra, where 2 golfers are trying to qualify to represent Ghana in the International Pairs Golf Championship stage in Sun City, South Africa. The likes of PwC, CAGL, our sponsors, not forgetting Montgomery and Co., are partnering the organizers, that is Legend Sports Management, to bring in the finals or the national playoffs of the International Pairs Golf Championship live on Metro TV. The lives of PwC and Co. have done very, very well for the game of golf. So this is where we are now, bringing you beautiful pictures coming from Achimota Golf Club in the national playoffs finals of the International Golf Championship. 92 of them, they all managed to qualify during the various qualifiers around the world. One big one was staged in Kumasi at the Royal Golf Club. Another also took place at Celebrity Golf Club at Sakumono, whilst the third one took place at the Center of the World Golf Club in Tema. Even Achimota itself hosted one of the qualifiers, but this is the final one. I can see a photographer busily trying to capture a shot of one of the golfers on your screens over there. But this is hole 1 now, where the 7th group are expected to tee off pretty soon and join the rest on the various holes. It's a beautiful scene of Achimota. Remember that this is the nation's premier golf club. It's hosted a number of fantastic and wonderful golf courses, a World Championship here in Ghana. Our sources are telling us that pretty soon they'll be hosting the Ryder Cup Africa version at Achimota. But the greens are looking pretty good. Forget about what you're seeing on the screens now. Where I'm seeing it physically, it's looking very, very good. That means the groundsmen have done very, very well, trying to give the best to the golfers. The weather is perfect for the game of golf, not too scorchy, a little bit windy, but hey, very rainy in the skies over there, and the golfers are just loving it. From where you're seeing cars passing by near the Achimota School here, which is close to the golf club also.
We are playing preferred line.
My name is Phil John Quartet on Metro Sports. Bringing you live pictures from Achimota Golf Club, where 92 golfers are trying to qualify for the ultimate slot, and a pair will be going to South Africa.
Well, those were scenes from the Achimota Golf Course, where the 2025 International Pairs Golf Tournament is underway, and as you can see, it's an exciting event, isn't it? Anyway, so we're talking about the national playoffs, which is underway at Achimota Golf Club, is the International Pairs Golf Tournament. Now, from time to time, we'll be taking you there for you to catch some scenes of what's happening there. You know, Metro TV is a sports station, and so we take sports very, very, very seriously, and we're very passionate about sports. And so we just thought that we should we should get you to have a feel of how the tournament is unfolding. Anyway, so we're back to our main issues for the day. We sincerely apologize. We lost Martin Pebu, a private legal practitioner, early on. We were talking to him about what we have uncovered as the other side of the story, as far as the UniBank, or the other side of the untold story, which has to do with the UniBank versus the state case, which the Attorney General has decided to discontinue. And we found out that there was actually an opinion which was authored by the then Attorney General, Godfrey Dami, who thought that the decision to terminate UniBank, the decision to revoke the license of UniBank was not grounded in sound law. But Martin will be joining us at some point during the show. But now we're back to another matter which is of grave importance to us, which has to do with the crisis or the conflict in Bawku. Now, we do know that it's an age-old conflict, but governments upon governments have been struggling to deal with it or to address it. Now, we want to speak to a conflict resolution and actually security expert, Colonel Festus Abuaje, retired, who has some insights that he intends to share with us as far as this matter is concerned. Note that it's back on the front burner because just this week we heard about the killing of a Kusasi chief in Ashanti region, something that the MCE actually suspects is linked to the Bawku crisis. We also know about an incident in Ashaman, which some people have already said that is highly possible that is linked to the Bawku crisis. So, and then also we've seen what's happening in Larirugu as well. So quite clearly, it is an undeniable fact that there's a spillover of the Bawku crisis, and we're becoming increasingly concerned. And so, Colonel Festus Abuaje, retired, will try and put all of that in perspective for us to help us understand what exactly is happening. So, Colonel, assalamu alaikum. Colonel, can you hear me?
Hear me?
I can hear you very clearly, sir.
Okay, thank God.
Yes, and thank you very much for joining us on Inside Pages. No. So, Colonel, we intend to, not even intend, but first of all, what do you make of the recent incident that just happened? The killing of the Bawku chief and the two students who were caught in that crossfire in Nalerugu. We're also aware about this individual who was murdered or killed in Ashaman, we're told belongs to one of the factions, and the fear that perhaps the Bawku crisis is beginning to assume a trans-border effect or a geographical spread.
Well, once again, thanks for having me. Now, unbeknownst to many of us who are ordinary onlookers of this conflict, there's a lot of hate speech that is going on in the background all the time, almost every day, especially on media platforms when you have NDC, MPP discussing Bawku. The statements from both communicators from either side of the political divide inflames passions. Then you have media personalities who are saying that you said that if you came to power, you end the Bawku conflict in 1 week. Now, that mere statement can incite somebody to prove to the incumbent administration that it cannot do that. And all that it has to do is to go around and maybe, orchestrate a couple of violent scenes here and there. But as you rightly mentioned, this development that I call the geographical spread, where the conflict is no longer in the Bawku enclave proper, and is tending to move towards, in some instances, towards Waliwali, and then upwards towards Nalerigu. Then in Nalerigu itself, targeting students, in Bawku targeting students. Then the alleged assassination of a Kusasi chief in Asawa, which is way down in Ashanti, or the reported Ashaman, let me call it assassination, including one injury that was rushed to, I think, Tema Hospital or something like that. Now, that spread of this conflict, spread of the violence, is something that must be concerning to all of us. It doesn't matter which political divide that you are on. So we need to be very, very careful, first of all, to restrain ourselves when we comment on the Bawku crisis, and not to make statements and use words, that will inflame passions. Or there is a blatant use of hate speech. And I'll give you one example. For instance, it doesn't help the resolution of the conflict. This current escalation could be traced back to maybe 2021, but definitely 2023. In 2021, the chief Bokunaba Azambeo, if I pronounce the name well, Tampuri, who had died years earlier, had not been buried. And attempts were made to bury him or conduct the funeral rites, which generated a lot of tension in 2021. Then 2023, late in that year, there was a rival chief, who was installed. Now that then escalated the conflict with a high level of violence that we have seen, which forced the government in 2023 to quickly deploy this task force under Operation Maidaburi. So the deployment in Bawku has been there, as we speak, maybe almost 18 months. And we thought that maybe their presence would yield some results and de-escalate the level of the tension. But I believe, it's my assumption, that because military deployments don't resolve conflicts, they don't resolve the disputes, the underlying causes of the conflict, that is not for the military to do. The lack of progress, concrete progress in the mediation effort, not necessarily the one by Santini, but other episodes of, mediation efforts by National Peace Council, by WANEP, by a host of others, the Bawku Peace Council, all of them collapsed. That lack of progress irritates some of the people who are involved, the Bawku youth and Mamprusi youth who are involved in the crisis, who don't see any end in sight and therefore think that the only option available to them is to continue using violence. And it's gotten to the point where the current administration has decided to enhance the military presence and to publicly say that the government is shifting, or the state is shifting from peacekeeping to peace enforcement. I understand those of us who have military training, who have been in peacekeeping, we understand what these terms mean. The principles can be applied to the Bawku conflict, but in doctrinal terms, you don't do peacekeeping and you don't do peace enforcement in internal crisis in a democracy. Let's take peacekeeping for a start, just by way of education. A peacekeeping by UN definition or per UN definition is when a conflict is in crisis and the UN decides to intervene because the parties involved, one of whom is likely to be the state itself, the armed forces and security forces, have come to an agreement, a peace agreement, or a cessation of hostilities, for instance, and that becomes the basis for them now to say, can you come as a neutral third party, UN, AU, ECOWAS, to help us monitor the implementation of the peace agreement? That is what peacekeeping is. In the case of Bawku, to start with, there has been no peace agreement between the Kusasis and the Mamprusis. None of them has said that we agree that we are going to cease fire or withhold hostilities or definitely agree that this conflict should end. It's not happened. And therefore, on that basis, you cannot say that you are doing peacekeeping. By the way, the state is not involved in the conflict as a party. The state is there to help de-escalate the tensions in Bawku. Then there are no armed groups in Bawku. There's no armed group like Boko Haram. There's no armed group like Charles Taylor's MPFL or Prince Johnson's IMPFL. So when you don't have an armed conflict, you cannot do peacekeeping. Then peace enforcement is that, okay, we are now going in to use all necessary force or measures to establish the peace and keep the peace. Now, that invariably implies using a very high degree of force. But because there is no armed conflict, if you deploy with that concept, and you saw the types of weapons which were rolled into Bawku, is it this week? Definitely, those weapons are not going to be used against civilians. That will be excessive use of force in a democracy. So I'm arguing by way of education that, yes, I understand what these terms mean and why the political authorities said they were doing that. But doctrinally, that is not what we should be doing. We should be deploying the Ghana Armed Forces, one, to go and dominate the Bawku terrain or the Bawku area, in order to help the civil authority to maintain and restore peace and security. Then the armed forces will determine the best methods to use, some of which they are doing already, like the imposition of a curfew with political consent, and which has been varied a couple of times, probably more. They will do patrols, both mobile, and if they have air facilities, maybe in the air. They will do convoy escorts, which they have been doing from Bolga to Bawku, and then from Bawku to Bolga. And I hear that the Kusasis are saying, okay, why don't you do escorts from Bawku to Tamale, for instance, or to Wale Wale? They will do that. They will secure or protect key points, like the Presbyterian hospital that we see in the pictures. And maybe if we had the intelligence estimate prior to the killing of these innocent students, the technical schools or secondary schools would have been added as vital or key points or vulnerable points or whatever. But the military has other mechanisms by establishing rapport with the community, with the leaders on the ground, with the opinion leaders. That is what the military is doing. It doesn't resolve, their presence does not resolve the underlying causes as to who is the Bawku chief. That the Mamprusi say they have the right to install, and the Kusasi say no. we install our own chiefs and we are not subservient to anybody. Those kinds of tensions cannot be resolved by the military. So that is where we are. The recent deployment, hopefully, will help to reduce the level of the tension so that innocent lives are not lost. And let me probably, by way of ending my first phase here, that this deployment is costing the state money. I heard yesterday, I didn't see the footages, that there is some air presence. Now, I don't know whether it is the Ghana Air Force that is flying, their fighters or helicopters, or whether it is the drones that we had introduced earlier, which I had said had been degraded because the batteries had run down. This equipment, plus the vehicles and the weapons platforms that we deployed, and the ammunition, and the sustenance of the troops, the men and women in uniform, whether police or military, the food that they eat, they cost money.
At the last time,
that money,
at our last check, we're spending close to 6 million cedis every month.
It's going to be higher now because the numbers have changed. Now, I heard the chief of public relations, Ghana Armed Forces headquarters, saying that she's not going to mention the number. But elsewhere, we heard that 400 extra, troops had been added. So on the assumption that we already had 500, we are talking of a force that is about 800, 900.
Yeah.
That is not a small force. That is about, more than a battalion. How to maintain them, how to sustain them, keep their morale high, is not coming cheap. So that figure that you mentioned is going to go up.
Right.
Now, I've heard people in the media saying that the military must be withdrawn. You cannot withdraw the military in a state, a responsible state. I mean, don't let us forget what happened or what we saw in 2021, 2023. When Bawku became like, everybody was running away. Teachers, everybody was running away. It became a ghost town. No government, responsible government, can sit down and say that, okay, let the people fight, which is another strategy. Let them fight until they get what we call war fatigue, and then they will stop fighting. But in the process, many more lives, innocent lives, will be lost. The situation will get out of control. Then its proximity to our northern borders, which are echoing off with terrorism, will probably invite the terrorists to come and participate directly. At the end, the national security of Ghana will be seriously compromised. So I don't support this idea that the military should not have been deployed and should be withdrawn. They will be withdrawn as and when there is a modicum of peace and stability, and there is no more violence, whether targeted or, provoked or whatever. Then the Ghana Armed Force, because it is, the state, because it is spending too much money, which it needs for development purposes, will then scale down until the military is left. Then Bawku returns to the status quo ante, where it becomes a normal part of Ghana.
Now, Colonel, I'm listening to you, and I get a sense that you are actually suggesting, when it comes to the killing of the Bawku chief in Kumasi, that's around the Asawasi area, and also the killing of the two school children, and then that of the Ashama one. I get a sense that you are saying that it's basically a case of intelligence failure and perhaps a lack of situational awareness, isn't it?
In theory,
okay,
academically, you can make that argument.
Right.
If you and I, living in our houses, respective houses, get information that some young men were seen, heard somewhere that tonight they are coming to our houses to attack us, to steal. That is intelligence. Right. We'll take precautions. There will be a number of things that we could do. So for the fact that the armed forces, for instance, in a convoy not too far away from Bawku, came under attack earlier last month or sometime last month. They didn't know that anybody was going to ambush them or attack them. Then they overreacted, and the government had to come and apologize, for instance. If you take the secondary schools, both in Bawku and Nalerigu, we didn't have any inkling that somebody was planning, one, to go and abduct students and then assassinate them. Same as the Asamasi one, and for that matter, the Ashaman one. If the state knew, maybe not in specific terms, but had some idea that some targeted assassinations were going to take place, the state might have orchestrated a number of countermeasures, which has led me to suggest that part of this effort in bringing the situation in Bawku under control, one was to augment the size of the task force. So they'll have more troops to dominate the ground, as we call it. Two is to throw in all the intelligence resources, in fact, not all, but as much of the intelligence resources that the state has. Without going into detail, the state has intelligence resources. Otherwise, we might even have lost the terrorist, countermeasures. So because Bawku has become a threat to our national stability, which is national security, the state must redeploy some of these resources. Some are electronic, some are human beings. So, for instance, in the places that you call Abobloshi and Co., wherever you have Mamprusis and Kusasis, deploy human intelligence to go there and, mix and see whether they might hear this or that about how ammunition is going to be moved from Accra to, Bawku. Which vehicle or bus or whatever is to be ambushed because the bus that is moving towards Bawku has Mamprusis or Kusasis. If the state deploys more intelligence resources, including the use of drones, which provide situational awareness, then the military effort will be made easier because it wouldn't have to use force all the time. The next mechanism that I've suggested, Moro, being a media expert, is what we call communication plan or strategy. And I've been asking in a rhetorical sense, since 2021, 2023, have you seen or heard anything that looks like a communication strategy being deployed and executed by the government, both the previous and this one? Do you hear jingles preaching peace, asking for people not to use violence to settle their, disagreements and grievances and so on? You don't hear anything like that. Now, the absence of a communication strategy, and on the contrary, behind the scenes, you might know, being, a citizen from that part of Ghana, there is a lot of social media platforms that all sides have established. Facebook, Instagram, and Telegram, whatever it is, where they exchange ideas that Moro has said that so and so and so is this or that. Now, Moro must be taught a lesson. They don't say it publicly, but those things go on in these social media or on these social media platforms. Only the state of Ghana has the capability or the capacity to take those platforms down. So public information is critical. And of course, I've talked about the equipment like the use of drones and so on. And I've even suggested that Bawku is what is going to cause this country to collapse. Let's find the money. Let's go and buy satellite space, if that is a terminology. Because it's been used before. You know, where technologies have been used to have satellites, you know, moving with the speed of the earth and remaining fixed on one location in southern Sudan or its border with the north. It's possible. Now, when you deploy satellites, not the satellite per se, but the service that the satellite provides, is able to see the Bawku area, is able to give you situational awareness and know what is moving where, and the movement patterns alone might give you a sense of how these incidents of violence occurs. So there is a whole lot of things that can be done. And lastly, let me suggest that the Asantehini's intervention is what I call the national strategic level. Between the national strategic level and again what I call the street in Bawku, it's a vast space. I don't see any plan, any mechanism that is mediating in that space. So we're all looking for Asantehini to do the magic, or his intervention to do the magic. What about down the Asantehini's level? Like this Aswansi area where we have Mamprusis and, What about Kusasis and Mamprusis who are drivers, who belong to drivers' unions? What about people who sell yams, who may be Mamprusis or Kusasis? What about those who are riding Okadas in and around Accra, some of whom may be Mamprusis or Kusasis? That is the kind of space that I'm talking about. The opinion leaders and the sub-sub chiefs, in and around Bawku and beyond. There must be mediation efforts at all of these levels. Let's call them the tactical level or the localized levels, so that when the Asantehini's effort kicks in, that becomes a culminating effect. And then the conflict is brought under permanent, if you like, semi-permanent control.
Long live, long live, long live, Colonel Festus Abwaje, retired.
It's a forgotten country, actually.
Yes. I don't know what Ghana would have become of if you were not here to share this insights and words of wisdom with us. We're so grateful that you made time to join us today, sir.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
And Ayiko once again for doing this for Mother Ghana.
My pleasure.
Thank you. That's Colonel Festus Abwaje, retired. He was giving us some insights on the way forward as far as the Bawku crisis or the Bawku conflict is concerned. Let me also say that I've been joined in the studio by the Member of Parliament for the Guan, the good people of Guan, and I'm talking about the man, Mr. Fred Agbanyo. But before I kickstart my conversation with him, let's go back to the Chimota Golf Club and catch some small action, some 2-3 minutes. I like golf. I know you do too.
Treasurer of Celebrity Golf Club.
You're posing for the pictures.
President Al-Mashibun is tainted by conflict of interest with
And that's Kwashi from Insuta Golf Club. I think he's the captain of Insuta. And Kwashi is partnering Joanna Jackson. Did he find the green? Probably not. The angle was a bit terrible there, so we couldn't find that.
Okay, so Bambuzu, we are live on Metro TV now. With this very short, you are seeing now the okay. This should be Letitia and Ponsa Mensa on the fairways about.
Yes, approaching the green from number one.
Yeah.
There's a hazard in front, which is also very unnerving. If you don't get it right, you go into the hazard.
You can't be very clear for
Looks
some
like,
golfers.
oh yes, I like that one. She's taking a nice pivot over there. Is she happy with it? Ooh. What's the reaction? Did she overshoot it?
There's something we don't see.
Something didn't go right. Yeah. But like they say, it's only the first hole. We've got 17 more to go.
Yeah.
You can, regain your composure and make it work.
If you're watching us live from Metro TV, we are coming from the nation's premier golf club at Chimota, watching the national playoffs finals of the International Pairs Golf Championship. Remember that South Africa is at stake. And certainly you are seeing some beautiful shots right here on Metro TV and also live on Facebook. Kati Fabi, former lady captain of Celebrity Golf Club, being caddied by Nadia. About to, okay, there she goes. That's a beautiful one. That's a beautiful one.
Did she find the green? Oh, she just rolled up, but it's not too bad.
Yeah, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah, she can just do an up and down from here, a chip and putt.
Beautiful scene we are seeing over there. Just beautiful. I think the groundsmen have done very, very, very well.
They have.
It's not easy if the weather is very soggy or very rainy, and you have to treat the greens and on the fairways. They've done very, very well.
That's Nadia.
Yeah.
Caddy Nadia.
Surprise!
Letitia went into the hazard.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Oh no, that was going to cost her one stroke.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good chip. Hopefully she can do one part from there.
You a golfer. Let me find out from you. What goes through your mind when you're about to tee off hole one? With a very competitive competition like this, when you know that there's so much at stake, what goes through your mind? Or you come openly free, let's try. If it goes well, it goes well.
Now, on the very first hole, it's really unnerving. You have to try putting a lot of effort to be calm and just focus on your ball. Because you would have so many things going through your head.
Yeah.
This is the first hole. What am I going to do? How am I going to play it? But then, so you don't get too aggressive. What you want to do, for instance, this hole one in Achimota, you have a water hazard to your left. You have another hazard in front of the green. You don't want to be aggressive. You don't want to attack. You want to lay up nicely, get onto the green for two. That will be in regulation. Get your 2 putts for par. Then you're fine. After the first hole, if you're able to make a par or a bogey, you are comfortable.
Yeah.
Then you can open up from the second hole going. There are some golfers come in like, I want to kill this today, and then boom, first shot, and you're out of bounds. Anything happens. It's golf.
But on that note, how difficult is the course here in Achimota? How difficult is it? Or is it one of the easiest courses?
We have what we call the slope rating of golf courses. That shows the level of difficulty of every golf course. Achimota, I think, is 135, which is, 133, I believe, yes, which is not too difficult.
Okay.
And it's not too easy either. I mean, it's a challenging course. It's a challenging course. So, for instance, Celebrity is slightly more challenging than Achimota.
Yeah.
And Celebrity and Tema are about par. Royal Golf Club in Kumasi is even more challenging. So there's a way of calculating the difficulty of the course.
Okay.
And then we have course raters who come and do the ratings for us. So
Okay.
So Ajimota is a wonderful golf club.
Okay.
I mean,
okay.
It's been designed properly. Very nice.
Well, we're still seeing beautiful pictures or video coming from.
She missed it there.
Yeah. Can we kindly acknowledge the sponsors once again? I think they're on your screens over there.
Yes, we've got PwC, our lead sponsors. We've got Reddington Hotels, Reddington Chalet in the Buti, Volta region. EXP, wonderful. They've always helped us. Alphabet City, Whaley Properties. Yeah. They are in Sakumono. They are also there. We've got Zero Sol.
Yeah.
They are into electric vehicles, EVs. They are also supporting us. We've got Macallan, the whiskey people are also here.
Okay. We're going all the way to close to 18 hours at 6 o'clock of Ghana time because things are going to happen when it's all over. So stay tuned if you're watching this live on Facebook or also Metro TV. This is the National Players Finals of the International Pairs. South Africa is in the minds of these golfers.
Oh, no.
It happens.
No.
It happens.
It happens. That's why they call it golf. Some of those short parts are actually the most difficult because, in your head, as you're walking to the ball, this is short. Yeah. I can't miss it. Yeah. But then the more you think of it, the bigger your chance of missing it. So it's about nerves. All you have to do is just be calm. Take your time and go for it.
Just like you said,
if you stay on the ball for too long, sometimes you'll also miss.
That's why you say it's called golf.
It's called golf, yes.
Another group about to tee off.
Yes, that's Mr. Kwashi Avamaga from Institute Golf Club. That looks like a good one. Is he happy? I believe so. Great. Yeah, he's found the fairway. Yeah, it's good. And Joanna Jackson from Takwari Sports Club.
It's looking very, very sporty, eh? A combination of white, deep blue. It's not bad at all. Looking very sporty. Let's check out her reaction after.
Administration than we've witnessed in the past. We'll see whether the numbers that they're giving actually, speaks to that fact that the GJA has said. That they're asking the government to give journalists some extra protection because journalists have been attacked. Anyway, so joining us is Fred Agwenyo. Fred Agwenyo is the MP for the good people of Gwa. He's an honorable member of parliament. He's joined us this morning. Good morning, sir. Thanks for joining us on Inside Pages. We're happy to have you join us.
My brother, it's been a while.
Okay. When you walked in, you were listening to my conversation with Colonel Festus Abuaji, and you wanted to also add to your voice to the plethora of appeals that have been made to our brothers and sisters in the Bawku, township to make sure that peace prevails. We would want to do so, and the fear that we're beginning to see a situation where it is spilling over. We saw what's happening in the Asawasi area. We've seen what's happening in Ashaman. We don't know when it's next. Could be in our offices, could be in the markets, as Kenel has said. It could be at the lorry stations because Kusasis and Mampusis live everywhere. Would you want to add your voice to calling on the people to maintain peace and unity?
Well, Moro, thank you very much. And let me say good morning to your very self and the cherished viewers and the good people of the Guan constituency. Ordinarily, having listened to Kenneth versus Abuaji, who am I to provide a solution to conflict situation when people like him, who are experts and who understand issues better, have given us a roadmap and what they think we can do to resolve the issue.
Right.
But as an ordinary Ghanaian, why not? I must also express my perspective as what we can do about this particular issue. Moro, the reality is that this issue has lingered on for far too long.
Right.
I hold a very strong view that once we chose democracy as a path of governing ourselves, what we have done invariably is that all the influence that we have, all the powers that we have, all the things that we can do on our own, we have decided to put that authority in the hands of a centralized administration. You understand the point I'm making? A government.
Right.
That government must do those things on our behalf. At no point, my view, should any individual, should any institution, should any group of people become stronger than the coercive forces of the state. The state must always position itself in such a way that is able to clamp down on every situation if, in the wisdoms of the actors, we believe is detrimental to our collective survival as a people.
Right.
Do you understand the point I'm making?
I get it.
And so we cannot have a situation where for several decades, one particular area, root cause, chieftaincy, and it positioned the entire country as though we are in a war zone. Now, the way the international media plays their game, when you travel out and you want to watch even television says on Ghana and Africa, oftentimes they will highlight the negatives, the ills. And we ourselves too, we are very quick at propagating those. There are a number of things that happen in America that you'll be surprised to get. So this is happening in America too.
Right.
But it hardly comes to the fore. You go to Europe, you go to Asia, they know how to keep away negative news and propagate good news. Because it's often said, who will want to go and invest his money in an area where peace cannot be guaranteed?
Right.
Who will want to go and do an investment in an area where every day you wake up, people are fighting? In years past, it is difficult for people to gather information about happenings in constituencies and communities and regions and in nations. But this is the age. Just as we are discussing this subject now, it is all over on the internet.
Right.
And so anybody who is looking for a place to invest in, the first thing the person will do now is to go to into the net. He will go to Ghana.
In fact, as we speak, there are many businesses that are relocating from.
That's right.
Bawku. Yes.
You understand? And so the question is, as a nation, are we going to sit down forever and ever and continue to handle some of these things with cake blocks, as it were, when it has serious ramification on the entire nation? Or that we move in and take a decisive decision? And for me, I know this point I'm making may be very unpopular with a lot of people. But for how long?
Right.
Moro, let us find out the budget that we spend taking care of the security services that are supposed to maintain peace within Bawku area. If they can publish the figures, you'll be surprised.
As against what those resources could have done for them.
What those resources could have done.
Building hospitals,
Go
clinics,
to the area
roads.
and see the level of poverty.
Right.
The number of schools we could have built with those monies. The number of markets we could have built with those money.
Yeah.
Hospitals that we could have built, the road infrastructure, the employment opportunity that we could have created for the place. Bawku is very strategically and geographically positioned. Not too far from one side is Burkina Faso. The other side is Togo. And so in terms of market, when you use the two lanes, the one from Togo side, the one from Burkina Faso side, it all congregates in Bawku.
Yeah.
Before you now move towards Zebila, and then you continue to, what's the name? Boga. If you are from Paga side through Navrongo, you come the same way. You understand? And so for me, from where I sit, See, we have tried all this mediation. The National House of Chiefs, Asante and his Council of Wisdom people, they've moved in, they've tried everything that they need to do. We have sent in the military, we have sent in the police. If you check all the literature and everything, in one vein, they will blame even the Asante and his group or the chief, the traditional authorities, of not being very decisive, of not taking a middle position. They will accuse them of bias. They will accuse the security service of bias. They will accuse almost everybody. And this thing has become a business for some people. Because as long as the conflict rages on, ammunition will come in. And people will cash on that. And so for them, let us create the environment. Let the fighting continue. What kind of weapons people are using at these areas? Moru, you ask yourself, if you look at the economic circumstances,
can they afford it?
How are they able to procure some of these ammunition?
Right. In fact, the National Peace Council has said that they are aware of a report by the Small Arms Commission, and which is headed by Dr. Adam Buna. And the information they have is that about 1.1 million small arms and light weapons are circulating. In fact, are missing. Nobody knows where they are. Nobody knows who is possessing them. This certainly should be a cause for worry.
It should be a cause for worry. And so, are we saying that as a nation, with all the security architecture that we have in place currently, right? The security architecture we have in place currently, we are not able to track, monitor, and block the ammunition that enters into Bawku.
Yeah.
Because as far as I'm aware, we don't have any factory within that enclave that is manufacturing distance. And so whatever ammunition they are using, it comes from outside into the area. Are we saying that we are not able to cut off the whole place and first and foremost stop the entry of ammunition? Because that's the starting point.
Right.
Once you don't have ammunition and they are going to use sticks and stones, death rates and distraction rates will go down.
Right.
What one gun can cost, it will take thousands of sticks to cause same. And so if you can prevent bullets from entering, you can prevent these sophisticated weapons from entering, you are combating the problem.
Yeah.
And I think the state has the capacity to do that.
Right.
The state has the capacity. All of us from where we sit, and from all the work that's been done by civil society organizations, by the same security intelligence, we know the people and the masterminds behind some of these things. We do.
Right.
And as to why we are playing the ostrich, as to why we are glossing over and pretending we don't know, only God in heaven knows.
Okay.
Omoru Yakatimi.
I wanted to tell you that your colleague Ernest Adade is on Zoom. So when you land, I'll go to him.
Okay, he didn't come to the studio.
I can go to him?
No,
you should wait. Okay. All right. So let me welcome him. At least let us tell our viewers that Ernest is on. Ernest Adade is a member of the MPP's communications team. Ernest, good morning.
Good morning, Muru.
Yes, and I hope you're doing very well, sir.
Too well.
All right.
I unfortunately couldn't be in the studio for only one reason. There was a funeral that I urgently have to attend this morning.
Okay.
I went there and realized that by the time I drive back, I will not be able to arrive in the studio on time.
Yeah.
So I pleaded to join you on Zoom.
Right.
And so you could see me in my black.
Yes,
all apologies. That's the only reason why I couldn't join you in studio this morning.
That's fine. And our heartfelt commiserations to you as well. I mean, accept our condolences.
Thank you.
All right. So Fred is going to land on the point I was making about, appealing to the people of Bawku to, ensure that there's peace, because if you look at the amount of resources that we're spending on keeping or maintaining peace in Bawku, that would have done a whole lot for the people there. And that's the path he was on. So he's going to land in a few minutes, and then I can bring you in for you to also add your voice to the numerous, section of Ghanaians who are asking our brothers and sisters there to just maintain peace and keep calm. Yes.
You see, I am struggling to make that appeal.
Okay.
Because How many times have we not done that?
Yeah.
How many times have not tried to, have people not tried to speak to conscience that, you know what, for our collective good, let us remain in peace.
Okay.
And that hasn't happened. And so my view at this point is that if persuasion fails,
force is applied.
The state must move in forcefully. See, the two things that are destabilizing our peace in this country is chieftaincy and land.
That's true.
Chieftaincy and land issues. My candid view is that when two groups of people are fighting over any piece of land and fighting and destabilizing the peace of the area, government should be able to move in and say, you have 1 year to resolve your problem. If after 1 year you are unable to resolve the problem, the state takes that land over from you.
We take possession of it.
The state takes possession of the land. We can put that land to some farm that will benefit both parties that are fighting.
Right.
We can build a school there that children from the two factions will attend. We can build a hospital or a factory there, whatever. For me, that will be my approach. The state will possess the land. Once you don't have the land, what are you going to fight over? If the chieftaincy issue that we have struggled time with that number to determine we all know the history, Bawku and the Kusazis and the Mamprusis. Yeah. We have read the history before the colonial masters came, the people first settled there, whatever support that group gave. We know all this history.
Right.
If this history will not make sense today, and nobody will listen to anything else we want to say, the state at a certain stage should be able to move in and say, you know what? Kusazis come, Mamprusis come, let's sit around a table. This is our decision as a state. You haven't been able to resolve the issue among yourself. Henceforth, we are going to rotate the chieftaincy among you. So a Kusasi man comes, when he ends his turn, a Mamprusi man comes. We need to be able to take some very firm decisions. Because what is happening now, there is huge political undertone in what that is going on.
Yes.
That's why people tell you one of the tribes
belongs to this
the party,
political party,
and this other tribe belongs to the other party.
Yes.
And so anytime a political party is in power, those who are perceived to be aligned to that party now feel emboldened to want to do some other skirmishes. And so for me, we need to be able to move in.
But also there are some also say that the political parties have cashed in on this politics. Which is they've taken advantage.
That is nothing I cannot deny.
Of the internal politics in
I cannot deny that.
Okay.
It's always a possibility.
Right.
See, my major fear, where we are in Ghana, where geographically we are situated, vis-a-vis what is happening in the sub-region, these things poses a bigger threat to us, our security. Because look what is happening in the Sahel regions. All these terrorist groups are looking for allies, people they can work with. And so once you create an environment, they will come and partner you.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They will come and partner you because they have the funding, they have everything.
Yeah.
You think a lot of people are happy that there is some relative peace in Ghana? No. Because those who think that let's keep West Africa poor so we can continue to exploit West Africa, take their raw materials away from them, take everything that they have. It is in their collective interest that we continue to fight among ourselves.
Yeah.
And so they indirectly and behind the scenes pull the streets and fuel it. And so when you create that environment, Bawku so close to Burkina Faso, how many times have we not heard attempts by some people to enter Ghana through those routes?
Yeah.
And so when Bawku becomes so fertile for them to want to move in, insurgencies and then they form alliance, what will happen next?
Particularly given the porous nature of our borders.
The porous nature of our borders. And you have made a point that is so significant that they don't live only within the Bawku or the Upper East area. They are all over Ghana.
Yeah, very. There are Kusas and Bawkus
like
here.
Ekene rightly said,
TV, yes.
You come to Accra here, they live in communities among themselves, they eat together. They are family people.
Yeah.
And so if today the killings can move beyond the Bawku area, all the way to Kumasi, what will happen next in Accra?
Yeah.
What will happen in Hawaii? What will happen in Cape Coast? Where are we going as a nation? And so for me, I'm saying that we have appealed, we have used all the methods that we think we can use. The time has come for us to call a spade a spade. It may be very unpopular, it may be a position that people will not be happy with, but that time has come.
So that's the justification for why government has moved from peacekeeping to peace enforcement.
Peace enforcement. Yes. You need to enforce peace because you can't continue to spend our meager resources that we can use to develop the place. We are at the place right now. Yeah. Almost all the presidents are fleeing the place. They are running away from the place, right? And the sad and the most painful thing is that anytime these things happen, who people suffers the most? Yeah. It's children, it's women who that may not necessarily directly be involved in these things, and the men and the young people who are emboldened. Some literature will tell you the reverse option will be the case. When it happened, companies are closing down, business are moving away. Some other literature will tell you, why don't you rather go and economically set up more business there, create opportunities. Once these people get something they are doing every day, they don't have time to sit down and plan attacking each other.
But you have said for businesses to move into any place, there must be peace.
I'm saying that, so this one, it's only the state.
Oh, you mean the state intervention?
It's only the state that deliberately can do this.
Right.
But individual businessman will not go and put his money in a chaotic environment. And so the state can say that, you know what, maybe let's have the best school in that area, let's have the best hospital in that area, let's build a factory that is employing all the young people, everybody has some work to do here and there, with the hope that once they are busy and they are going and coming, and then they are earning income from that employment, fighting and picking arms will not be enticing. You see, I'm reluctant to say this, but sometimes we might just say it. When young people get involved in these spiritisms, this juju and these things, they go to the malams and the rest, and they go and take powers. They are looking for an opportunity to test the powers. I don't know if you are getting the point I'm making.
I get it.
Let's see if truly what they have given to me works. And so, like, let's go foment trouble. Let's create trouble. Let's try. So it becomes a competition of powers. If you talk to the security people and they tell you some of the things that they see on the ground, it is not like you and I are talking about here.
Yeah.
It's not. And sometimes when you tell them, why are you not going to retrieve the ammunition and the rest from them? You can go to a room and look around the whole room and you not see anything, right? And yet the gun is still in the room. You understand what I'm making? So it is more complex.
Yeah.
It's not a straightforward issue.
Yeah.
And so what have we not done, Bawku?
Okay.
I've heard the chief imam spoke time with that number about the Bawku issue. I've heard pastors make appeal about the Bawku issue. I've heard Asante, the eminent national of chief, talk so much about a Bawku issue.
Right.
The political actors, time passed, NPP politicians in the region, NDC politicians, they all come together, move to the area. Just a few weeks ago, all the political actors from the 5 northern regions, they've come together now to form a bigger a body that they think that they can use to propel development in the region. How is this thing going to impede this noble vision and noble idea that they are driving?
That's a good question.
And so before my mother comes in, I am saying that the state is powerful enough.
Okay.
The state is strong enough. Leadership is loneliness.
Yeah.
It is not every decision that you take that everybody will embrace it.
Okay.
But medium to long term, people will come to realize or to see the wisdom behind that particular decision.
Okay.
From where we have gotten to, the time has come for us to crack the whip.
Okay.
For us to call the actors to the table and say, you better resolve your issue within 3 months. If you are not ready, the state will resolve it for you. Okay. And whatever decision that the state will take, you will be compelled to comply by it.
All right. Ernest. Hello, Ernest. Can you hear me?
Moro.
Yes. I'm sure you've also been following this Bawku conflict. And what are your thoughts?
Thank you very much, Moro. I've been trying to follow you carefully. And as we have all seen, Bawku is turning to be something else. So as I greet my brother Fred and all the other panelists, I will try and just make certain statements from the beginning. And they may sound controversial, but it's necessary for us to look at these things before we begin to address the issue.
I hope it won't.
Number one.
I hope it won't trigger any.
Number one.
I hope it won't trigger any trouble I hope your comments won't trigger any trouble. Okay.
I'm saying it sounds, Moro, you know me very well. I try to avoid anything that will bring
I
fire.
understand.
We're already
I know.
in fire anyway.
I know.
Trying to solve Bawku, and I wouldn't bring you any problems.
No problem, sir.
The main thing is that when people begin to commit crimes, we are in a country and people begin to commit crimes, and they feel that somebody had committed a crime and is getting away with it, then you are likely to be emboldened to commit a worse crime, or maybe you are, to say the least, you are emboldened to do what you feel you can, and you know that nobody can do anything about it. Secondly, when I was listening to Colonel, and Colonel made a very profound statement. The moment somebody hears that in an era, Bawku is peaceful, in an era, Bawku is on fire, there is the likelihood, I agree with Colonel, that there is the likelihood that somebody will say, then let me prove to them that what they are saying is not true. So somebody also becomes emboldened and will want to do something just to prove a point. This is a very volatile situation we have, and that's not the only place where you have a chieftaincy problem going on, and some have been there for years. We haven't been able to make the strong decision. If you remember, history tells us that at a point in time, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah tried to alienate the issue of chieftaincy and brought all the powers under the state. So the chiefs just stay in your area and the state takes care of everything. I think I heard Fred also speak about the fact that the state at a point in time, if the people don't solve the problem, then the state could move in and the state will be able to say that, fine, if you cannot stop fighting amongst yourself and identify who the kingmakers are to choose the right king or choose the right chief for the place, then the state is putting maybe a moratorium, a total ban or whatever on the chieftaincy within the area for a period of time. Nobody should call himself a chief. That will be the extreme where the state realizes that whatever they are doing there is going to bring problems to everybody within the country. Look, this Bawku conflict would have started, as the name implies, in Bawku. Now we just heard that there was an action at Oti, and people have come all the way. Look at the distance between Bawku and Kumasi to come and perpetrate a crime in Kumasi. They've moved from Bawku. Oti may be closer if you think that is it, but they've gotten to Kumasi, and I think I heard Fred also say that if they've gotten to Kumasi, where next? They're already in Accra. Are we waiting for us to have some group of people calling themselves whatever, or they are affiliates of whatever international terrorist organization or any problem, a child in a country that they are not able to take care of? Are we waiting for it to get to that level before the state shows that we cannot allow a few group of people to extend maybe their misunderstanding or whatever you will call it to destabilize the whole country? So what I'm saying is the political coloration of this conflict could also be fueling the fire. Political coloration, whether somebody is saying something from the NDC angle, somebody is saying something from the MPP angle, it will rather worsen the situation than solve it. So all I have been saying, or everywhere I have been to on this Bawku matter, is that nobody can convince me that Ghanaians can live here and say they are going to Lebanon, wherever, to go and maintain peace. And we have a small land area of our country that the whole army of Ghana cannot descend there and say enough is enough. If we arrest you or if you commit a crime, we would treat it as a crime. It is no longer a chieftaincy conflict. The chieftaincy conflict would have been a family issue. This one says this, that one says that. Or a community issue. Community A says this and community B says that. But we are growing the thing into a civil war. I am pleading with everybody listening. Let us be mindful of the fact that every conflict that happened anywhere in the world started small. And Bawku started in Bawku, and it is now spreading gradually. Very soon, you will see some people calling themselves gorillas of Bawku or whatever of Bawku, who may not have any lineage, any ties at all with the conflict, the feuding factions in Bawku. They may not have anything at all, but go and take the name because the name is associated with conflict to begin to create problems for us. So this is not about His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. This is not about MPP NDC. This is about we saving our nation. And I will repeat this. Nobody can convince me that the people, the Ghana army, we are spending money on the Ghanaian army, and the Ghanaian army cannot take care of a small land size like Bawku. Then when a country like Cote d'Ivoire or whatever comes and to attack Ghana, or they rise against us, then we can say that our military will be completely helpless.
Okay.
We have moved from this thing being just a family conflict to something that is threatening our very living as a state.
All right. Let's use
the incomes that come to Bawku. I hear everything is gone. I haven't been to Bawku recently, but I hear the market, nobody is able to visit. People who used to come from Burkina and other places to come and trade here, the trade is gone. Now the next thing we are going to have is that we are exchanging trade with their problems that they are having. Burkina has a problem, Mali has a problem. They are battling these things, and we are growing an ant to become an elephant. I don't get it. So my appeal to baby Fred, he is a representative of the government in the studio, is that let us send a strong message to His Excellency the President.
Okay.
Look, this question of we having whether peace enforcement or peace
peacekeeping, yes.
How are you going to even keep the peace when you even don't have the peace? You keep what you have, and you are going to enforce. If I heard the Colonel mention a concern I also had earlier, Moro, that I saw the military in their accoutrement, in you saw the military vehicles that moved in there. Very soon, we will begin to lament over the fact that there are excesses. It won't be long when no matter what the instructions are to the military, the command that has been given to the military, if somebody attacks those military men there, and they are armed the kind of weapons that we see them moving there, and they attack any of the military, you won't tell the military man, forgive me and excuse me to use this as an example, because it's one of the worst situations we have had. But if you take our brother Major Mahama, who unfortunately went through that situation in Dentre Boise, I hear he was armed. He had his side arm on him. But unfortunately, he restrained himself to the extent that the people took his life away from him. This is so recent that the military who are in Bawku may have things like this at the back of their minds. And if they are under attack, should they also wait until these people finish them, just take their lives like that? They may not be able to be that much restrained. So they will return fire. They may want to defend themselves, and the military defending themselves is a different thing.
Okay.
So my appeal to His Excellency the President is that yes, he said they should go and enforce the peace. I believe that by now we are contemplating putting a military base in Bawku, whatever it will cost us, because the cost of we having a civil war or some insurgents on our hands may be worse than spending money to put a military base there and ensure that the people we are going to put there are going to make sure nobody takes them for granted. And I repeat, nobody should be able to take our military for granted. So my candid and humble opinion is that we can solve Bawku. If we cannot solve Bawku, then we cannot save this country when this country is under attack.
Well,
Moro.
Yes.
My final statement is that no country will develop
Yes.
No country whatsoever will develop in the presence of conflict.
That's true.
So as the new government is saying, we will do this, we will do that, we will do that, they should remember that all that they are putting in place, if we are in conflict and this country begins to struggle against some Charles Taylor type of thing or anybody in the bush fighting people, we will have problems on our hands. So they are responsible. The state has been handed to His Excellency the President John Dramani Mahama. Go back to them, tell them what I said may not mean how you understood it. So stop it. If you don't stop it, I am going to use every means possible to ensure that you stop, including withdrawing. And I will recommend including withdrawing the status of whichever chief. They are not bigger than the state. Yeah. So no matter how important that chieftaincy is, no matter how revered those chiefs might be, they cannot sacrifice the whole of the country for their personal interest or their community only. So that His Excellency the President should threaten them, I believe so. If I am the President, I will threaten them to ban completely that issue of chieftaincy and make sure that whoever breaks that law will go to jail, so that you're going to be creating the problems from the prison. Well, if we get to that level, their followers or the people who are at the forefront, who are the direct beneficiaries of this conflict, will begin to tell their followers that if you go and misbehave, I will be responsible. I'm a football lover. Yeah. And if your fans go to the stadium and go and create problems, FIFA will not go after the fans. They go after the club. They go after the state, the country that your supporters went to misbehave. They come after you. And therefore, that is only to send a signal that if you allow your supporters to misbehave, you pay. Right. So if any chief allows his people to go killing people, they should forget it. And these killings are not chieftaincy dispute. These killings are crimes. Okay. They are murders. Okay. So the Ghana police, the security forces cannot come and tell me that some school children who may not even care, their tribes are those ones, but they don't even know. Some of them, I hear the 2 kids that were killed were not even from those 2 feuding factions or tribes. Yes. Yeah. This means that we are extending the fight. They were
caught in a crossfire. Innocent people.
But let me tell you, Moro, the fact here is somebody lost his child. Somebody lost his kinsman. And therefore, as we know how these issues always begin, whoever lost his kinsman, his child, his friend, is also going to look for an arm. And if you don't take care, they become the third force in this whole caboodle. They become another party. So whether it was by mistake or by decision or by plan, we have just attempted to involve a third party in this conflict. A third one comes, somebody too gets killed, a fourth one comes, and we are all in trouble.
All right, if you can do this, if you can do this in just 30 seconds, I know you have a lot of reverence and respect for women. I've seen some video where some of the women in Bawku are loving these military guys who are going around, the soldiers. Do you have any idea why?
Yeah, I saw a video of a woman who is trying
they seem to like the military
and he's warning the military man. That's how I started. That's what I started with.
All right.
That you saw a lady, I saw a video of a lady, in fact, warning the military man who has been given the power of the state to come there and come and enforce the law.
Okay.
He is daring the military man.
Right.
He's daring not one man, he's daring the whole military of the state.
All right. Okay.
Not because she's a woman.
Okay.
Forget about woman. I said a crime is a crime.
All right.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Crime is a crime.
Okay.
So the situation we have on our hand now.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Ernest.
Thank you.
Ernest. Thank you very much for joining us. I'll give the rest of the 5 minutes to Honorable Fred Agbenye. So where do we move from here? What do we do?
I read a Greek play called Legislata.
Okay.
And in that play, the men were always at war fighting.
Okay.
So one woman rose up one day, mobilized all the women, and decided that, you know what, let all of us embark on a sex strike.
Right.
Let us not be available to our husbands. It was enough for the conflict to end. It was enough for the men to return home.
Right.
I am saying that the state is so powerful that we can resolve this issue overnight. If the men there say they will not stop fighting, let's move all the women and the children away from the place. Let them stay there.
We should move the women out of there.
Yes.
But how are they going to survive without the women?
The state should take care of them.
No, the men there.
Yes, but you say you don't want peace. You don't want the children. Look, just maybe school children, innocent children have been killed.
Yes.
So let's get the police, let's get the military, let's move all of them from there. You, the men, remain there and fight.
Yeah, but there are innocent men who need these women.
You see,
for company.
What are we talking about?
You move the women out there, the men are finished.
Seriously, as I said earlier,
not all of them are fighting.
I know we are on national television.
Yes.
But this thing is becoming too much.
I know.
The cost to the state and the poverty in the area and the suffering that innocent people are going through.
Yes.
We cannot continue to joke with it just because one man or two people think that they are entitled to something, so the whole world must come to an end. No. The whole world must not come to an end.
You're suggesting that we've played.
You understand?
We've treated this with some kind of kid gloves.
That is my view.
And now with
it's a very strong view. I hold. Yes.
And call that and say enough is enough.
3 months. If the two bodies cannot sit around a table and resolve the conflict and get a roadmap for themselves, the state will take a decision for them.
That's the only way forward.
And that should be the final decision. We have done mediation. We have done everything. We've taken the security there. What have we not done to resolve the issue? It's as if the more you try, the more it escalates. The more you try, the more it escalates. Now it has moved from Bawku. It is in Kumasi. Where next? Should we continue to watch and look on? Should we continue? We can use those monies to fix the road, to fix the schools, to create employment, and all the professionals are running away from the place. And as I said, the people who are going to suffer the most are innocent people, young children. If they are sick and they go to the hospitals and the health professionals are not there, who will take care of them? If they go to the schools and the teachers are not there, who will take care of them?
Fred,
and so for how long in the name of a scheme?
We also find the people who are sponsoring these attacks and deal with them.
That's why I'm saying that the state has every power to find the people.
Because they are there.
From where we sit, I don't believe our security intelligence don't know the people who are behind these things. From where we sit, I believe that the security intelligence of Ghana know the masterminds behind these things. They know where the ministers are coming from. Okay. And they know the way the people who are benefiting economically from what is happening.
Right.
And so if we are determined and ready to resolve it, we will resolve it.
Okay.
For how long are we going to continue with this thing?
That's a very good question. I totally agree
Ghana,
with you.
where we are now, all of us are looking for is development.
Right.
God has blessed us with everything that we want as a people. Yeah. You have oil, you have gold, you have diamond, you have rivers, you have sunshine, you have everything. How can this man be poor? And so everybody now is aggressive, everybody now is calling for development. We cannot come and sit here this early morning, wake up from your bed after all the struggle and can't be talking about conflict at one place every day. We can't continue to do that.
Okay.
This is a time that we can use to discuss, we can develop agriculture.
Yeah.
This is a time we can use to discuss, we can develop healthcare and education, what have you. Why?
Okay. Elijah Hamza from Pickfam says, good morning, my brother Moro. As much as we're calling for peace in Bawku, we should also make sure that the right things are done at the right times, and the wrong things are at the wrong times, and there will be peace in Bawku. Also, my brother, equal rights and justice key to the process. So I call on my brothers and sisters in Bawku to give peace a chance for development to take place. But those who are trying hard to play politics of the crisis should be ashamed of themselves. The good people of Bawku deserve better and they need our prayers. But I totally agree with everything that Fred Agwenyo and Enes Adadea said, except the point where he said we should take the women out of Bawku, and the men can't survive without the women. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching Inside Pages on the Metro Television. Please keep the women there. There are innocent men who need their company. Have a good day. Bye.
I'm a branch manager. Of course, I accept only quality and affordable printed souvenirs for my promotional campaigns.
I'm the head of academic affairs of a very important institution in Ghana. Of course, we only deal with quality, reliable printing companies for our institution's printing materials. I'm talking about appointed time printing.
Appointed Time Printings. We take pride in our extensive print scope that transform your ideas into captivating visual masterpieces. We delve into the core objectives and vision of each print project. Precision printing is at the heart of our printing process as we meet your tight deadlines. Our rigorous inspection, color verification, and overall printing excellence are assured. 20 years of printing excellence. It's always a pleasure working with you to create a vibrant, dazzling printing experience that gives you a masterpiece. Appointed Time Printing, your world of quality and affordable printing.
Welcome to Rehoboth Palm Ayimensa Gated Community. Nestled between the vibrant city of Accra and the breathtaking Ebri Mountains lies a serene gated community. Here, you'll find litigation-free, fully serviced demarcated plots to build your dream house in a gated community surrounded by lush greenery and the calming beauty of nature. Perfect canvas for your dream home you want to build. With well-tarred roads, a reliable drainage system, electricity and water, fully serviced plots are ready for your vision. Enjoy exclusive amenities like a swimming pool, tennis and basketball courts, all within the comfort of your community. Start your mornings with peaceful walks or energizing jogs under the shade of palm trees and stunning views of the Peduase Ebri Mountains and city skyline. Starting from 450,000 Ghana cedis and a flexible payment plan, visit www.rehobothpropertiesgh.com to make inquiries. Call or WhatsApp us on 020-682-3524, 055-375-1933, or 024-476-4499. Rehoboth Properties, quality housing for all.
MGL Logistics and Supply is your trusted partner, providing seamless solutions for all your procurement needs. From sourcing products to managing imports and exports, we ensure smooth and efficient transactions every step of the way. Whether you require goods from across the globe or need assistance in exporting your products to international markets, we got you covered. General trading is at the heart of our expertise. We specialize in a wide range of products, catering to various industries and markets. As a trusted dealership in building materials, we provide high-quality products that meet the demands of our construction projects. Additionally, we act as manufacturers' representatives, connecting producers with distributors. Our expertise in logistics is the backbone of our operations. We plan and execute transportation and delivery of goods, ensuring they reach their destination on time and in optimal condition. MGO Logistics and Supply, guaranteed satisfaction.
Celebrating the 2025 Agotime Kente Festival, a celebration that breeds culture under the auspices of the Kono and the President of the Agotime Traditional Council, Nenenue Kataku IV Agotime celebrates the 30th edition of its Kente Festival, starting from Friday 8th of August to Sunday 17th August 2025. Lineup of activities for the celebration: Friday 8th August will be procession and Muslim prayer at all Muslim communities in Agotime, and on Saturday 9th August there will be Kente City Walk at Betwe. Monday 11th August is traditional prayer at Apegame, and on Tuesday 12th August will be health walk and quiz competition for all JHS students in Agotime. Wednesday 13th August is women and children's mini deba. Thursday 14th August is Godigbe at Apegame and